to state data, between January and October of last year, there were about 20% fewer overdose deaths than that same period in 2023. Here with us to discuss is Sweetzer's Director of Recovery Services, Elena Knox. Elena, thank you so much for joining us. One overdose death is too many, but this certainly is some encouraging news. What do you think is leading to the decrease in overdose deaths?
There's been a significant reduction in stigma around seeking treatment for substance use disorder. There's more widespread access to naloxone, which is a huge part of the Options program. The Options program has clinicians and coaches that are co-responding with the police department and EMS for overdose calls and stuff happening in the community. And our Options program has 6 recovery coaches across the state of Maine that work in Franklin, York, Oxford, and Kennebec counties. That is just Sweetzer's coaches.
Yeah, and I imagine that's very helpful for people going through the process. Yeah. Talk a little bit about what they do.
Yeah. So recovery coaches here in Maine support Mainers who are struggling with substance use, and they support them in accessing community resources and even harm reduction strategies that make use safer. There's a lot of community outreach and stuff like that. Recovery coaches are a resource to people who are struggling with substance use disorder in the community, meaning that, really they're supporting people in accessing or in creating, I would say, a self-determined pathway to recovery. Instead of it being like, this is the direction you need to go, it's kind of a more individualized approach based on the person who's seeking the help.
And some of them have been in recovery themselves, or are in recovery themselves.
Yeah, so most often people who are recovery coaches have lived experience with substance use disorder. So they've had their own recovery journey. They've utilized the resources in the community that they're encouraging others to utilize as well. And again, having that lived experience really creates a more authentic connection between the recovery coach and the recovery, and definitely supports them.
So talk a little bit about how people can access that resource.
Yeah, so they can go to the Options website, which is knowyouroptions.me, and they go there. There's a option for them to click on liaisons, find your liaison. They can contact their liaison for their designated county, and then at that point, they will have a referral made to a recovery coach.
Okay, really good tidbits of information. We appreciate it so much for coming on, Elena.
Thank you for having me.